Brandon just likes throwing me for a loop and really making me so uncomfortable.
Seeing you uncomfortable is one of my favorite things.
Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, on my 100th video, which I'm going to link right here, right in front of Brandon's face. This is the magical area where we link things. Right up there, I'm going to link my 100th video where I did a Q&A, get ready with me. And Brandon watched that video and kind of told me that it wasn't so much a Q&A, get ready with me, as a tutorial where I answered like 4 questions. Like I was so focused on the makeup that I got distracted from the whole purpose of that video, which was answering questions from you guys. So Brandon's here today while I get ready, asking me questions and keeping me focused. And I did a very fun purple smoky eye and it was a lot of fun, but I actually like blended it while talking as opposed to showing the shades and doing all that. So if you want a more in-depth tutorial on anything I did today, make sure to let me know. If that's something you're into, make sure to keep on watching, and please don't forget to subscribe because I do upload twice a week, and that is the best way to stay up to date on all the fun stuff I'm posting. So without further ado, let's get right into the first question. So because last time went so absolutely horribly and I basically lost focus and it turned into a tutorial, Brandon is here to walk through the questions and keep me on task. I'm going to be using the Lunar Beauty palette today to do like a purple smoky eye thing. I'll try to talk about products here and there, but if not, I will leave everything in the description box so that we can really just focus on the Q&A part of this. So Brandon, the floor is yours.
These are some of the questions that we get a lot whenever we do a live or we're in our Facebook groups. Is there a YouTuber that you would emulate over everyone else?
Tati Westbrook.
Why?
Like, not even a question. I fucking love her. Language. I love her. She is fantastic. I think what I like most about her is she is not afraid to talk about bougie high-end products. She's not afraid to talk about drugstore products. But more importantly, she just talks about what's good. It doesn't matter if it's a $3 foundation or if it is a $120 foundation. She's going to tell you what she likes the most and why. And it's always going to be honest. There's a lot of YouTubers that people have the impression that they're like owned by a brand. Like they can't say anything bad about so-and-so because, you know, they don't want to lose a brand deal or a promotion code. Tati doesn't do that. You can tell with everything she does.
She's real.
It is real, it is honest, and it is authentic.
Yeah, she's real. And that's why you love her.
Oh yeah. Plus she's so thorough. Anytime she reviews something, she tries to do it from every angle, every possible skin type, what you would like if you don't like it and why, what might be a good alternative. It's just thorough.
What made you get into makeup? Like, how were you inspired? And when you got into makeup, were you secretive or, you know, were you ashamed of it at first?
I went to a program for performing arts for high school. I lived on stage. So that was my intro. It was just evening out my complexion. I always had eyeliner on because from a distance in the audience, you can't really, you know, see what's going on stage. So a lot of what I did at first was really for that. And then it was just costumes and Halloween and really just playing around on my own. I didn't really super get into it till about like 2 years ago, where I noticed that none of my stuff was working for a Halloween costume. I kind of threw away everything I owned and started from scratch, rebuilding my collection and playing with new items. That was when I got back into YouTube because I used to watch YouTube tutorials all the time. I used to live on Nicole Guerrero's channel like 8 years ago when 90% of it was wig tutorials, but every now and then there was a really pretty makeup tutorial and that was like my jam. So I was always into it, it just wasn't so much for me. Then about 2 years ago I started saying, screw it, I enjoy it, let's play with it a little bit more.
What would you say is your favorite makeup brand?
That is such a loaded question. Favorite brand as in the brand I use the most? If I could only use one brand, what would it be? Like,
it's a pretty generic question.
It is such a generic question.
Everyone always asks us, what's our favorite brand? I know what my favorite brand is.
What's yours?
Mine is probably Morphe.
If I had to do a full face using as much from one brand as possible, I definitely think I could probably get the most out of Morphe. Just because between brushes, shadows, blushes, bronzers,
it's what we use the most of.
I do use a lot of it. However, I do have things in specific categories that perform better. I mean, Fenty is fabulous, and everything they do I have liked, but I don't have everything they make because, like...
You don't need it.
I was uninspired by their most recent shadow palette, and like I don't feel like I need it. Is there a brand that every launch I feel like, oh my god, I need to have this? Yes, Jeffree Star, hands down. Every time he comes out with a palette or a new lipsticks or new anything, I feel like I need it. But that's probably a marketing thing just because I love the colors, I love the formulas, the shadows blend so well. Let's avoid the entire like level of irony that I'm using Manny's palette and the two of them don't get along. But I mean, I love this palette as well. So I don't think I could have one only, but probably Jeffree Star or Morphe. I definitely like those e-commerce brands.
Do you think that the men wearing makeup, the taboo around it, is going away, or is it still a big deal?
I think it depends on who you ask. I definitely think things are getting easier for men in makeup. I know when I first started going out of the house in full glam, when I would go to an event, I would still kind of get those head turns. And now I think it has definitely become a little bit less than it used to be. It's definitely become more accepted. And I think that it's becoming more mainstream. However, I definitely think there's a lot of ways to go. There are still a lot of brands that when they're doing their marketing materials, it's a whole room full of women. And though they're finally being inclusive and bringing in women of color, they're still leaving the boys out in the cold. Because for a long time, there was a lot of, like you saw, white females, and that was it. So I'm very happy with the progress that's being made for all minority beauty people. But I definitely do think that there's still a long way to go. And that got way preachier than I wanted it to.
A little bit.
But I stand behind that.
If you can launch your own cosmetic line tomorrow, what would you start with?
I have discussed this 1,000 times over, and just because it's my favorite to work with, I feel like I would want to do a highlighter line. Like, I am very specific about highlighters. I have a lot of them, and I feel like there's a lot of brands that do some great things, but then they also miss the mark a little bit as far as tones, as far as things that they could do better. And I mean, I know I don't know everything, but from a consumer standpoint, like, I think I have enough that I know I could put together a pretty good formula with a pretty good shade range. And like, for example, I played around with this the other day. This is the Rose Gold Physicians Formula Butter Highlighter. And I think this is so stunning on the skin. Brandon, can you dip your finger in there and tell me what you...
It's creamy.
It's very creamy. This is like a creamy mousse highlighter, but it's blinding. I like my highlighters to be a little bit drier. So every time I use this, I'm like, I wish I could get this kind of a color payoff without it being quite so creamy. But, you know, that's what it is. Nothing wrong with it. That's just not my thing. That's why I love, like, Anastasia. I love how dry it is, but it's so blinding.
So, one of the questions you get a lot, and this is almost every time we go live, what does your makeup routine look like, and how does it differ from a woman's routine?
It doesn't it doesn't differ at all. I know that for the most part, I go in pretty heavy, and a lot of people have commented, like, what if you don't have time for all of this? And I get that, but I typically, like, I hate to be, it's a cop-out, but you guys have been here, you've seen my videos, I definitely go in...
If you've been here before.
Shut up. I definitely go in with a lot. However, if you are a full coverage female, there is no difference between what I do and what you do. The only major difference is, and what I've noticed, is a lot of boys in beauty, what they'll do is they will take a color corrector and they'll color correct their stubble and their facial hair. I don't do that because I actually like that. Not that I like having this blue shadow. It's part of my face.
It's normal.
Like, stubble's gonna come through. So for me, I don't necessarily hate that as much as, like, I know that there are definitely male YouTubers and beauty influencers and people who definitely color correct away some of their facial hair, and there are some who totally embrace it. I'm kind of in between. I'll go full coverage and cover it up if I don't want to see it, or I will kind of let it show through. Depends on my mood, but I'm never gonna, like, color correct away stubble.
Do you prefer to buy makeup at one specific place, or do you go all over the place?
I go everywhere and then some. I mean, you of all people know that. I will drag Brandon into Ulta, Sephora, drugstores, literally like once a week. I feel like I need to go to each place. just because with new launches, things that are exclusive, I feel like my biggest issue is that I love a lot of e-commerce brands. Brands like Morphe, Jeffree Star, like all of these brands that are fantastic, but you can't really get anywhere but online.
We spend about an hour a day in each store.
When we go.
When we go. And it's usually 1 or 2 days a week.
I'll go to one or the other. But I try to make an appearance at both so I can see what's new, see what is coming soon, and really just playing around with what's out there. Because half the time I see a new launch and I'm trying to decide if I want it or if I want to review it, the issue I run into is that I don't necessarily know because I haven't touched it or played with it or swatched it yet. So that's my issue for that.
To tie into the same question, how much would you say you spend up on makeup alone?
That is a loaded question, and I don't think I know the answer to that.
If you had to pick an answer.
I am rouge at Sephora, but I am not diamond at Ulta.
Probably the most generic answer you've ever given.
Actually, that's a pretty standard answer. I spend enough to get what I want and get what I need, but not enough that I am top tier in rewards at both. I think that's a really good way to put it, actually.
So this is a big question for Brett, because everyone, if you know him, you'll know the answer to this. What is your favorite season, and how does it affect your fashion and your makeup choice?
Fall, not even a question. Like, I treat Halloween like it's my birthday. I don't work on Halloween. I celebrate and then some. Like, that is literally my favorite day of the year. I find that as far as fashion, aesthetics, like if I could wear a bomber jacket or a track jacket and really pretty riding boots year round, I totally would. Like, that is absolutely my favorite thing ever. I wear a lot of dark colors. I love, like, I picked out a nude lip for today, but I also, just in case I was feeling it, pulled out Griselda from Fenty, which is literally the most beautiful, like, deep berry. And, like, that's just it right there. Smoky, vampy, that's my jam.
So basically you go smoky vampy when you pick your makeup choice in the fall.
All the time. And not even just the fall. Like, I have done some looks that people have been like, well, that's not really appropriate for summer. And I'll be like, if I want to do a super black, grungy, smoky eye in the middle of summer, I'm going to. Like, that is what I like.
What is your favorite makeup tool that you absolutely cannot live without?
Makeup tool?
Yep.
I mean, does a good brush count?
Do whatever you want. It's one tool that you cannot live without. I don't know why I saw that coming.
I love fanning my setting spray. That is something that I think changed everything because...
Well, there it goes.
And this is when I wear the powder, not when I press it under my eyes. That's not... No, in all seriousness, I do love having a fan just to kind of take down the setting spray, dry things off. It also blows away a bunch of powder. But I'm actually planning on doing, in the upcoming future, a, like, my favorite beauty tools. Because I've noticed that you guys kind of see the brushes I'm using. And occasionally I'll talk about something else. But, like, I have a little plate here with some little tools and things that I use regularly in there. Like, actually, this is probably it. The Tartist Lash Adhesive Tool. I don't even know what they call it.
You called it a Tartist.
Yeah, it's not Tartist. Unless it is, I don't know. But
Tartist.
the lash tool is fantastic, and I don't know what I did about lashes before I got that. But I will be doing a full-blown video on the unsung heroes. The things that I use pretty much all the time, but that you guys don't necessarily see. Because you don't really see when I curl my lashes. You don't see when I put on lashes. If I need to touch up a brow, if I need any of those little things, you guys really don't get to see it. So I'm going to kind of take you guys a little bit behind the camera on that and show you some of the things that don't make it onto videos.
What do you see as the next makeup trend?
No brows. No.
I won't do that.
I don't either.
Bobby will be, but no.
Yes, Whoopi Goldberg could pull it off. I can't. Let's see. I definitely think that color is coming back. Everything went super neutral for a while, and then beginning of the summer, end of the spring, everybody was really focusing super heavy on these super neutral palettes with a pop of either turquoise or aqua. There was some sort of vibrant blue. Urban Decay came out with one. The Alamar Cosmetics palette, which I love, came out with one. Like, all of these different companies came out with this same type of vibrant blue shade, and that kind of opened the door that now there's a lot of corals coming out. There's a lot of these, like, yeah, you could have your neutrals, but there will also be pops of color. And for a while, these pops of color were exclusively used, like, a little bit on the lower lash line, and that's it. And now people are getting back into doing full-on Nikki Tutorials Sunset Glam, and I love it. I think that there's a lot to be said about what is neutral and natural, but when you're putting this much stuff on your face like I am, like, whether this eye look was a purple smoky eye or a brown smoky eye, that's not blended enough. That's gonna bother me. Whether it was a brown smoky eye or a purple smoky eye, at the end of the day, it is still a smoky eye. No one is going to look at you and say, your eyes naturally look like that. So it's like, why are we focusing so heavy on, well, it has to be neutrals and it has to be browns, because I can't pull off purple. Guess what? You actually absolutely can. It's just about knowing how to blend it and have it not look choppy. So I'm gonna just go finish up the lower lash line off camera because there's nothing attractive about me going like this when I can't speak. So I'm gonna do that really quickly, really close, and then we'll jump back in for the last 2 questions. Okay, so I also threw on some mascara just because I can't talk while I do that either. And I'm just gonna go in with a little bit of glitter while Brandon goes into the next question.
What is your favorite type of video to film? Is it a tutorial, a challenge, etc.?
I feel like it's kind of a cop-out to say my favorites videos because they are so easy to film. Like, I'm not demoing anything. I'm literally just talking to you about the products that I have really been loving, which to me is the easiest to film.
I like challenges.
Challenges are fun.
They're so much fun. You get very flustered during them.
I do. I'm never prepared for the challenges like I am for my other videos. Because, like, you guys don't see it because a lot of it's behind the camera. But I, like, pre-plan my videos. I know what products I want to use. I have an idea about what I want to talk about. And it's really, like, well scheduled. So I know, like, I have a calendar that'll say, okay, I'm overdue for a review video. Because I've been doing a lot of tutorials or a lot of get ready with me's. So I have to kind of work in something that's a little bit more review focused. And I know so much of what I'm going to do that when it comes to something that's a little bit more like, here's a challenge, you don't know what you're looking at until you're there. Because those are the videos that fluster me the most. And those are the ones that I feel like I am the least prepared for.
Panic.
All right, so what's your next question? I believe we have one more question, and I just have to finish putting on blush, highlight, and lip. So I think it's time for the last question.
Do you have any advice for any new YouTubers, male or female, who are just now starting out?
Oh, shoot. That is quite a loaded question. So I actually have been toying around with the idea of filming a video on this exact topic, and I'm not sure if there's going to be reception for it, but I really want to do like a YouTube 101 for people looking to start out, because something I've noticed is that a lot of the bigger YouTubers, the people with actual followings and fan bases, they have at least one video on their channel where they talk about what they did to start out or what they recommend for people who are coming into this. And for me, I think what the issue is that they are so far removed from when they were starting out that a lot of the advice, though it comes from a good place, is a little bit too far removed and it's misplaced.
Most of them don't edit their own videos.
They don't edit their own videos anymore, though they might have at one point. You know, they have so much PR coming to them that they have no idea anymore on how to build a channel on a budget. Like, how do you properly find the newest items, get everything when you're funding it yourself? Like, I don't, other than my BoxyCharm, I don't get PR. Anything I'm reviewing on my channel, I am paying for by myself or making him do. And I'm really just doing it on my own. So the biggest advice I could have is be ready. So something that I noticed a lot of people when they were starting out were talking about is they'll make a video and then they will never make another video again. And a lot of the issue is consistency. So like when I started my channel, Brandon was actually a really big push because for him, he really wanted me to just start and jump in and go and film a video and post it and see what happened. But I was like, I had seen so many people start channels and fizzle out. I love this. And I did not want to be one of them. So I told myself that if I was going to start a channel, I was going to do it when I had enough content to actually upload a minimum of 3 videos. Because I could post a Monday, a Thursday, and a Monday, get a whole week and change out of it. And at that point, I would have until the following Thursday to decide, is this really for me? And I'm so happy that I thought it was, because now here I am almost an entire year later, and I have content, and I have at minimum 2 videos a week, sometimes more. And it really kind of put things into perspective that I, didn't just post one video, because nobody's going to be YouTube famous overnight. No one is going to post one video and next thing they have 10,000 followers and things start rolling. It takes time. So give yourself a couple videos. Don't get discouraged when you don't grow as fast as you think you should be, because there is no formula and there is no rule. Like somebody else's journey I think I'm at 110 videos that I've posted. There are famous YouTubers who have like 50 videos, but because of either their Instagrams or some of the other things they're doing, they have in less videos than me made it. And there's nothing wrong with what I'm doing. It's my journey. It's different, and opportunities, no 2 people are going to have the exact same experience. So while I can give you what I do, and I will probably end up going in with that video that I was talking about where I'm going to do my basics and how to edit videos and talk about some of the intro beginner stuff. But I think that for the general advice is just know what you're looking to do. That was really long-winded, but I hope that made sense.
Super long-winded.
So because Brandon is here and he is so anti-lashes, I'm going to skip the lashes today, but I am loving how everything is looking otherwise. So I hope that was helpful for you guys. The one thing I will ask is leave a comment down below. If you're interested in seeing like a YouTube 101, my setup, how I light my videos, how I edit my videos, all that stuff, make sure to comment down below letting me know that's something you're into. So leave that down below. Make sure to give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.